but this is super useful. My life would be terrible. I'd live a horrible life without these tools. So I'm just going to show them off. The first one is this tool called FASD, FASD, which lets you navigate between directories very beautifully and sublimely. What I see a lot of students do is, so ls to see the folder, and then maybe they type in cd example node server, and they type out the whole thing. That's hard. That hurts. One thing you can do to make it a little easier is to use tab complete. So you could type cd and then hit tab. That should be available in most terminals, and that's a little better way of doing it. And you can continue of folders by continuously hitting tab and then changing directory there. But with FASD, what you can do is I can be anywhere. So I could be in my home folder and say I wanted to go to example node server. I could type in the Z word, the Z letter, and then sort of fuzzy find on something. So I could just type in node ser and then hit enter. And it's going to take me to example node server. The way this works is if I hit Z, it's going to have this kind of ranked hierarchy of all of my folders. So I tend to go to the Viking Code School folder a lot, for sure, and some other ones. So if I type in Z and then like Viking, it should take me to Viking Code School, which is super useful. And it's, I don't know, I prefer navigating directories in the terminal than I do on my Finder just because of this. Spotlight is nice and all, but sometimes that's a little laggy, where this tends to be instantaneous. So that's one thing that's super nice. Another thing.
So just to clarify real quick, why did it take you to Viking Code School and not, for example, to Viking Admin, which is that 15.1692?
So that's because this has a much higher ranking. Because it knows that I visit Viking Code School so often, I can still go to Viking Admin. In fact, I can just type in Viking and then kind of tab complete through all of the options and then use up and down to take me to whichever one. But it's going to rank them, list them in order of mostly frequency. I'm not exactly sure how they rank them, how they come up with that ranking number, but I'm sure it's a mixture of frequency and combined with recency. So it's pretty intelligent, and it tends to do what you want it to do. But I can always just either tab complete through the other choices, or be more specific. Viking add I can type in, and it should take me to Viking admin, which is really nice. And you can even sort of fuzzy search. Like you notice I didn't have to have the dash there. I can just kind of type in a string of letters, and it'll see which one is the closest match. And it can even be through multiple levels. So I could like do code and then admin, and it's going to will take me to the folder I'm already in, which is really nice. I like that a lot. So that's FASD, and you can find that on GitHub, which is nice. And Z is just an alias that it comes with. So if I type alias D, we'll see it actually expands to FASD CD-D, which is change directory, and the -D does something. I'm not really sure. I just use the shortcut. Let's see. -D is match directories only. So I can also possibly use it to get to files. I think there are many other things you can do with it, but Z is my favorite command and the one I use the most often. Super nice. Another thing is this something called history substring search, which is kind of similar in that there's a fuzzy finding aspect to it. But say I typed in some command at some point in my terminal history, maybe not even in this particular terminal session, maybe not even today. It was a long command, maybe I typed it yesterday, and I remember one word from it. So I know it had the word cow in it. So I can type in cow and then hit up, and it'll cycle through all of my previous commands that involve that substring. So I could also, it doesn't have to be from the beginning. I could do say hi, and it'll sort of jump me through there. And I can run the command again. Of course, as the first command I wrote in this webinar thing. But it could have been a longer command as well. That's another super useful thing. If I'm pushing to some strange Heroku branch and I don't want to recall the entire nested, git push and then weird remote and then weird branch and then the from branch, I can just type in like from branch and then hit up and it'll fill in everything else for me, which is super nice to use. I like it a lot. So that's called history substring search. You can also find that. And if you want to get both of these in a nice, easy to install way, you can do, where is this? Oh my zeesh, there we go. Your terminal never felt this good before. Omazish. So this is a terminal replacement that makes it really easy to install these other plugins. So basically just copy and paste this into your terminal and it'll install Omazish for you. And if you go to the docs, you can see how to add the plugins. So there's this plugins directory, and in here you'll see FASD. It explains what all the plugins are. There are tons of them. There's FASD, there's history substring search here. But the way you actually install them is by editing .z, which will be installed when you install Omazish. And basically, it's right here. It says plugins, and there's equals, and then there's some parens. You basically just separate them with spaces. So here's the example format. So you would just add git and then space FASD. I can just show you mine. And right here, there is, oh no, where's plugins? Plugins, there we go. So I have git, I have history substring search, fast, gem, and some other things as well. But history substring search and FASD are the two that I would say that I couldn't live without.